Okay, we're going to talk about the GoPro Hero 6 Black today. This is one of my favorite action cameras. This is the camera here. This little thing is probably one of the best cameras that I've really ever had for like skiing and kayaking and just basically general action type activities when you're out there. That's the best way to put it. I love this thing when I ski because I can put it up on my helmet here and I can just turn it on and go. It also syncs to what they call Trace Snow. Now Trace Snow is an app that tracks all of your skiing stats. So it's really cool because what happens is that you actually overlay the stats that you've captured using Trace Snow over top of the video. So you do have to upload it, but it takes maybe up to a day sometimes to actually get it back, but it works really well. The reason I'm doing this indoors today is I just really don't feel like going out today. Although I'm beginning to wonder, because I've just noticed in the background here that it's actually snowing quite heavily now, which really makes me want to go skiing. So we'll see. But anyways, just to show you, look what it's doing outside right now. So it's kind of cool that that's actually all of a sudden coming in. So I'm really thinking about getting out there. So anyways, back to the video. One of the reasons that I like the GoPro is that, let's turn it on here first. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on. You'll hear it beep. And what you'll notice is that, first of all, on the front of it, there's a number of stats that tells you what it's doing, whether it's actually in film mode, picture mode, so on and so forth. But on the back, there's a nice little display too. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the display on that actually tells you whether it's in 1080p mode, whether it's actually in film mode, what the field of view is, how many frames per second you've got, whether you're in Wi-Fi, whether GPS locationing is on. There's a whole lot of stuff you can do with this thing. The nice thing too is that you can swipe up and down. So I'm going to swipe up with this, or down I should say, and there's all your settings for your connections and everything. So you can go into each of them, you can see what the preferences are. So do I want to do a tour of the camera? Do I want to know about the GoPro? Do I want to do updates? What's the time, the date, and the format? All kinds of stuff is in there. The other thing you can do is, we're going to bring this back if we can. Okay, so it's back there. If you swipe off to the side, you can change all kinds of settings in there as well. So it's quite nice that you can actually just swipe back and forth with this stuff. One of the main reasons that I love this camera for skiing is that I mount it up on the top of my helmet, okay? And when it's up there, it actually works really well because the image stabilization on this thing is just out of this world. Used to be, we used to have little different devices for the cameras to smooth out the picture, or we'd have to use software to actually make it smooth and stuff. This camera handles it itself, so you don't need any of that stuff, and the quality is quite amazing. The other thing I love about it is that if you listen to it, when I start to record, you hear one beep, okay? You can see on the back that it's actually recording now. You can also see on the front that it's blinking red, telling you that it is actually recording. The nice thing about it is that when you turn it off, you hear 3 beeps. So when it's up on your head, up on the top of your helmet, you can't see it. So those beeps, so let's say I turn it on, I know it's on now. When I turn it off, I know it's off now. Because of those noises, it's actually really handy when it's up there and stuff because you can't see it, so the actual audio prompt really helps a lot. I also use this thing when I'm hiking. I strap it on my chest And when I'm kayaking, I do as well. I mount it on the bow of the actual kayak. It's great to point outwards when you're touring and stuff, and if you're doing white water stuff, you may want to turn it around so it's facing you and recording that way. The other thing about this thing is it is 100% waterproof. I even tried it out because when I first got this thing I was like, hold on a second, I'll show you why I was hesitant on it. Let me turn this off for a second, and I'm going to show you a little something. Okay, so if you notice in the bottom here, if I flip this little thing across, inside here is the actual battery and the SD card. So the battery is right here, and it comes in and out quite easily. There's a little tab on the batteries, you got to get them, and then you just basically pull, and there's the battery's out. I'm going to put it back in. But if you notice right here, this is where the SD card goes. So I'm going to take it out. You press like this. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you press it in and it comes out. And then the SD card, there's the SD card. Okay? So it's kind of nice how they've got it set up like this. It's a little difficult to get in and out, but once you get the hang of it, it's okay. But it's this device here. Once you clip that in, this camera becomes 100% waterproof. So I wanted to test that theory out when I first got it, because I was like, are you kidding me? Because if any of you's had the GoPro 3 or 4 or whatever, you had to buy special cases so you could scuba dive with it or snorkel with it or take it kayaking, walk in the rain with it, whatever it may be. And those things cost extra, but this is waterproof all on its own. You don't need those anymore. So it's actually really, really great. So when I got it home, I was really hesitant about that, because I was like, how can this little door actually be waterproof? And so I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to stick this in my fish tank, which I did. And what happened is that it worked. It was great. So I left it in the fish tank for probably about a half an hour filming my fish and stuff, because I figured, okay, if it isn't, it'll get destroyed right away and I can take it back to the store. And I was quite pleased and quite surprised to find out that it is indeed 100% waterproof. So this is why I find this thing to be one of my favorite cameras. The other thing too is there's another little door on the side here that you open up, and if you open it up, that's where your USB-C and your mini USB connections are for outputs and basically recording live using this. So it's kind of neat. So anyways, that's the brief overview on the GoPro. I'm loving what I'm seeing outside for the snow right now, so I may change my mind, not sure, still not feeling all that energetic, but we'll see what happens. I'm starting to. So anyways, have a good day, and I'll talk to you all later.